Okay, so today we'll be introducing you to asexual reproduction and its types, right? Before going on to the asexual reproduction, asexual reproduction, what could be the genetic relevance of asexual reproduction? Genetic relevance, what it could be? Can you try genetic relevance asexual versus sexual? Who has more advantage and why? Anwar, Anshika, Anamika?
Sir, sexual reproduction.
Haven't good. Why?
Sir, because variations in the offsprings.
Variations in the offspring. Good. So what happens is asexual versus sexual. You might have heard of the word clone, right? Clone means identical genome copy. That is meaning of clone. The word here, golden word, is identical, means completely same. Not a single nucleotide is changing, right? Identical genome copy. So we will be reading about gene cloning, genetic cloning in biotechnology in class 12 only. That is identical genome copy. So asexual reproduction is making its copies of specific genome, just like you put something in the photocopy machine, Xerox machine, it comes out identical. But sexual reproduction, how is it acquiring variation? Can anyone tell me? How is it acquiring variation? Avantika told it acquires variation.
Sir,
Is
by
correct?
crossing over.
Good. By crossing over. Okay, this is the first question. One of the questions you need from asexual crossing over. It happens in which stage of meiosis? That's the second question of need you can think of. Crossing over occurs at which stage of meiosis? Or at which stage of meiosis crossing over or does crossing over occur? It happens at Pachytene stage. Always know Pachytene stage. This is what crossing over is all about. Happens at Pachytene stage. So we have in meiosis one, prophase one. We have leptotene, zygotene, then pachytene, then early diplotin, late diplotin, then we have the dikinesis. So you can just club the two diploteins into simple diplotin. In the pachytene stage, crossing over happens. Now, if recombination takes place, how much of it, how much of the, or how many of the chromosomes, or what will be the percentage of recombination? Okay, that question is also asked in competitive exams. So I'll just tell you how to calculate. Okay, suppose we have a homologous chromosome, chromosome number one from the sperm. This is chromosome number one from the sperm. Okay, it's from the father. Let's take the homologous chromosome, which is from the mother now. Chromosome number one pair from the mother. This is from the mother. From ovum of mother. Now, the question is, recombination happens. Okay, crossing over happens after the synapses. So let's put some genes here. Let's put some genes. This is suppose capital A, capital B. Here it is a sister chromate. It is just a copy. It will be capital A, capital B. This one, suppose I put the allele small a, small b. Allele small a, small b. Get this concept very clearly. Okay. Now in meiosis, what will happen is this they will cross over. Always know this one, the distal chromosome, this chromosome, okay, and this chromosome, they never participate in crossing over. Just see what will happen. You can cross over like this, and you can cross over like this. So what will be the end result? Result will be capital A, capital B crossed over with capital A crossed over with a small b. Now this is small b plus small a, small b. That is same here. Sorry, this will be small a, capital B. Okay, here crossing over happened. And this one will be the same, distal one, small a, small b. So how many chromosomes took part in this process? Count 1, 2, 3, 4. So recombination frequency, the formula is number of recombinants upon total number of offspring. Total number of offspring into 100. That is known as recombination frequency. Now, how many are recombinants? 1, 2. 2 are recombinants. Total number is 1, 2, 3, 4 into 100. What will you get is 50%. So maximum number of recombination frequency or number of recombinants crossover products that one can have is 50% in any condition of meiosis, not more than 50%, because the distal chromosomes, this one and this one, or any distal chromosome, they never take, you can say, or they never participate in crossing over, or in, you can say, homologous recombination. The same thing is known as homologous recombination because these are homologous chromosomes. Right? Recombination means recombining. That is how variation is taking place because I'm changing the genome now. A is with capital B. Small capital A is with, you can say, small b here, this one. So I am mixing up the genes, so I am generating, I am causing more and more variation. Okay, is this clear, everyone? Anshika, Prakriti, Mansi, is it clear? Supriya,
Yes, sir.
Soumya? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So note this down. This will be asked in your comparative exams directly from asexual. Okay. People think that asexual is quite easy. Just I'll write budding, 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 and binary fission over. But questions like this are asked. Okay. Okay. Now come to your number one, asexual reproduction. So let's draw our table. Keep that table with you. Okay, this table. You can draw it in the on your notebook. Asexual reproduction. If you make a flow chart out of it. Okay. You have Mr. Fission here. Then you have fragmentation. Then you have budding. Okay. Under fission, you can go for binary and multiple. You can draw this or write this down. This table. One time table, it will keep everything in your head. Budding, you can go for endogenous, exogenous, or external, internal. Internal. Then we can go for regeneration. Then we can go for spore formation. Like fungi, bacteria, they don't form spores. Okay. Then we go for vegetative propagation. Under vegetative propagation, we can have natural methods, okay, which is growing like sweet potato. This is a type of We grow it from roots. Then we can have artificial methods. Under that, you might have learned something in class 10, few points, cutting, layering, then grafting. Then we'll be learning about tissue culture as well. It is the plant tissue culture, not animal one. Plant tissue culture. Okay. So note this table down. This will be good for your asexual reproduction. Okay, this entire thing. If you remember this table, then you can easily comprehend and then answer any question regarding asexual reproduction. Written?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now come to the fission. Okay. We all know what fission is. Nuclear fission you might have heard, right? In physics, fission means breakdown. So fission means a completely grown parental organism. Okay, or you can say a fully grown parental organism. What happens to it? It divides into two or more than two daughter cells. Two or more than two daughter cells. Could be binary, could be multiple. Okay. The thing is, if we just divide it, okay, what happens? The daughter cell for the parent cell in reality, it becomes immortal. So this question comes in fission. We have something known as immortality. The parental cell, it never died. Parental cell remains immortal or not. It just grew and it divided. In a way, it stayed immortal, right? Because its identity was never lost. It kept on dividing, dividing, and dividing. So in a way, it stayed immortal. So parental cell never dies in case of fission. Now there are two types, binary and multiple. Binary means it got divided into two types, right? Or sorry, not two types, two daughter cells. Now under binary fission, what happens is the karyokinesis. Karyokinesis means division of cytoplasm. Karyokinesis you can say it follows what? Sorry, it happens just after you can say cyto or sorry, it happens prior to cytokinesis. That is the meaning of you can say binary fission. Okay, karyokinesis would occur first. That is the division of the nucleus, nuclear division. Then cytokinesis, cytoplasmic division. So you might have learned all this in class 11, right? Now, can you tell me how does cytokinesis happen? Which proteins were used by the cell in mitosis or meiosis for cytokinesis? Come to your cytoskeleton. That is asked in competitive exam again. That is the only difference between competitive and school exam. They ask in-depth question, logical questions there. Cytokinesis is taught, but which protein causes cytokinesis? Try under cytoskeleton. If you remember cytoskeleton, microtubule, microfilament, and intermediate filaments.
Sir, myosin.
What's that? Myosin, actin myosin. So the thing is actin and myosin. Okay. So here Anurag is correct. It is actin and myosin, that is the microfilaments. Okay. But in bacteria, okay, or in lower organisms, especially bacteria, if you take, okay, this is asked in unit exam. In bacteria, cytokinesis is caused by actin-like protein. Real actin is not present. Actin is a eukaryotic gene and protein. Bacteria, something known as FTSZ. FTSZ. That is the protein used in bacteria. That is a homolog of actin. Okay, that is the one point I wanted to make clear from NEET perspective. Okay, here. Now, on the basis of, you can say, cytokinesis division plane, or at which plane the cytokinesis is getting divided, the binary fission could be of three types. Okay, at which plane? Suppose X plane, Y plane, Z plane, irregular, like this, like this, like this. Which plane is it is? Okay, which plane am I talking about? Okay, horizontal, vertical, all those things. So on the basis of you can say, plane of cytokinesis. So binary fission could be of three types. Okay. Number one is irregular or simple binary fission. You can note down irregular or simple binary fission. Here what will happen? Cytokinesis can take place in any plane. Okay, keep it very, very clear. Cytokinesis can take place in any plane. In any plane. But the thing to remember here is it will always be, means the plane of cytokinesis is always perpendicular to the plane of karyokinesis, but is always perpendicular. We write in mathematics like this: perpendicular to the plane of karyokinesis. So if karyokinesis is happening in this plane, then cytokinesis will happen in this plane like this. Okay, it must be perpendicular. If karyokinesis is happening like this, cytokinesis will happen like this, means like this in 3D. Okay, that is how it will happen. Okay, cytokinesis plane, karyokinesis plane will be perpendicular to each other. That is the simplest rule. Understood? For this one, irregular. Any doubt? Just make them perpendicular. Okay. Anshika, Anurag, Anuj, understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now come to second type. Second type is a longitudinal. Easier than anything. Longitudinal binary fission. Under longitudinal, cytokinesis and karyokinesis both happen in longitudinal plane, means like this. Both will occur at the same plane, that is longitudinal. So cytokinesis and karyokinesis, they both occur in longitudinal plane. Okay. Number three is transverse or horizontal. Transverse binary fission means cytokinesis and karyokinesis will take place in transverse axis. Here both take place in transverse axis or horizontal axis, like this transverse axis. Okay, so these are the types of your binary fission. Okay, one exception I'll tell you, just like multiple fission. Multiple fission means we go for a multiple karyokinesis event, multiple nuclear division. You have like this, you have inside 5 or 6, then we make 6 cells, right? That is our multiple fission. But there is a difference, there is a exception in biology regarding binary fission. You can note down there are 2 protozoans. Okay, 2 protozoa, plural, known as Polyomyxa. Okay, or simply you can call it Pelomyxa. One more is Opalina. Pelomyxa and Opalina. They have a very, very unique type, okay, of binary fission, which is known by the name as plasmotomy. This comes in neat. Plasmotomy. You can write down in bracket or inverted comma. Underline that, plasmotomy. Here what will happen, you can say, firstly, multinucleate parent will be developed. Means a lot of karyokinesis has happened. So we have a multinucleate parent, number one. Multinucleate parent. Now what will happen? It will undergo cytokinesis and form 2 multinucleate daughter cells, meaning that one may have now 3, another may have now 3. Here were 6 nuclei, right? Second stage 3, 3. Just for example, okay, suppose 10, so it will become 5, 5. Now, this is known as 2 multinucleate daughter cell. Daughter cell. After that, each one will undergo separate division to form uninucleate daughter cells. Okay, now uninucleate daughter cells. So this is a very, very special type of binary fission, because first of all, binary means 2, right? Not multiple. Binary means 2. So here we are getting 2 cells. First division. First is not multiple. If it was multiple, what would have happened? From this stage, you would have directly reached this stage. But you are reaching a 2-celled stage. This is a 2-celled stage. That is why it is called as binary fission. Don't confuse it with multiple. Multiple, directly from multinucleate, you will come to multiple uninucleate. But here there is an intermediate stage of 2 cells. Even though they are multinucleate, but they are 2 cells. Okay, that is why it's a type of binary fission known as plasmotomy. Okay, understood? This one, plasmotomy. This can come in comparative. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Any confusion here?
No, sir.
Okay. Now come to multiple fission. Okay. Multiple fission. So binary fission can happen where? It can happen in Euglena, Paramecium, amoeba, right? Those are the examples. If you want to write, you can write. Binary fission happens in amoeba. These are all protozoa. Okay, Euglena, single cell eukaryotes belonging to the Protista family. Then Paramecium. Okay. So that is our binary fission. You can turn under this binary fission. For multiple fission, the best example is all types of plasmodium. Okay, again, protozoa that causes malaria. Plasmodium vivax, P. malei, P. ovale, Plasmodium knowlesi. These are the various strains. Okay. Then most important and dangerous, which causes malignant malaria. Okay, that comes in neat. Malignant malaria is caused by Plasmodium falciparum. We'll talk about it more when we reach chapter number 8, malignant malaria. The most dangerous type of malaria is caused by Plasmodium falciparum. This strain is mostly found in African countries, not in India. If you get malaria and this is a strain, you may not live. Okay, if the treatment is delayed, you may die. That is the case. Otherwise, we will recover. Vivax is the most, becomes a common one. Okay, so here we have multiple fission. Okay, now the way multiple fission occurs is we have something known as one cell. Its nucleus will first grow a little bit in size. Then what will happen? It will undergo karyokinesis. Meaning that what happened? It entered into the S phase, but did not enter after S phase into, you can say, M phase. S phase and S phase continues, and G2 and M never came. S phase continues for 5 to 6 cycles, so that the DNA gets duplicated 6 times here, right? If there is 6 karyokinesis event, karyokinesis, what does it mean at molecular level? 6 times replication or not, right? 6 times replication, 6 times nuclear envelope formation. And then what happens is, then you are going for, or this stage is also sometimes known as amitosis, because mitosis is not happening after karyokinesis. No cytokinesis is happening. Okay. So little bit of cytoplasm is being taken and nuclear envelope is being formed around it. That's all is being done. Okay. So each nucleus, what it does, it takes a bit of cytoplasm later on. Okay, after this, it takes a little bit of cytoplasm later on each nucleus and goes for cytokinesis. It will form 6 daughter cells with a bit of cytoplasm. 3, 4, 5, 6. So here it never happened like plasmotomy. From here you did not get 2. You directly got 6 daughter cells. And all the daughter cells are uninucleate. That is the type of division which is known as multiple fission. Multiple fission. Okay. Example I told you, that is plasmodium. Okay. Always remember. Okay. In detail, we'll learn about it again in chapter 8 when we learn the life cycle of plasmodium, which is digenetic. Digenetic means it requires 2 organisms. One is the female Anopheles mosquito, another one is the human host. 2 organisms, 2 different species, not organism, not 2 humans, 2 different species, this plasmodium protozoan needs in order to complete its life cycle. Right, 2 different species. Mosquito is a different species. Our species Arthropoda, we are mammals, right? So that is known as digenetic. Its life cycle is, if you check the life cycle from comparative perspective of plasmodium, okay, plasmodium, life cycle is known as digenetic. Means 2 different species are required to complete the entire life cycle of this very organism. Okay, is it clear? So we'll talk about the merozoite, ictomerozoite, Feijont stage, and everything else. Okay, when we reach chapter number 8, how does it release you can say hemozoin, which is the toxin. How does it go for asexual reproduction in the hepatic phase, extrahepatic phase, okay, in the RPCs, okay. Again, going for physiogony, which is a kind of, you can say, sexual reproduction. Those things we'll discuss later on. But now just know this. When we go to chapter 8, we will discuss in detail the life cycle of Plasmodium. Okay. Is it clear till now?
Yes, sir.
Any doubt?
No, sir.
No. So Prakriti was, she was asking a question regarding the nuclear core complex. So Prakriti, if you want to learn nuclear core, it is a double layered material, right? Like this. And through this one, we will be having invagination, that is ER. Okay, comes out through the nuclear core. Okay, like this. So like this it will be. And we have multiple receptors. Okay, the nuclear pore means what? It is not a direct pore. We have multiple receptors there. So that influx and efflux of, you can say, substances happen. Okay, outer pore is, you can say, more permeable, inner pore is less permeable, highly selectively permeable, just like in case of the mitochondria. So there are proteins like RAN, okay, which is a type of GPCR. These are specific proteins, G protein couple receptor, they are attached with GTP, guanosine triphosphate, and they have their own cycle. They phosphorylate their compound, their own proteins, and then this specific transmembrane protein will allow the specific materials to get effluxed or influxed. Okay, that is how in, you can say, totality, the influx and efflux of particles like mRNA needs to be exported out of the nucleus, toxins needs to be thrown out of the nucleus, right? Then whatever DNA and RNA are being synthesized in the cytoplasm, they are needed to be uptaken into the nucleus. So those things are performed at regular basis or on regular basis, right? Throughout this nuclear core. Okay, this is the concept of nuclear core complex. Then you may have multiple bodies, nuclear speckles. Then you may have Cagell body. We have nucleolus. Okay, we have nuclear speckles. Multiple inner bodies inside the nucleus along with the genome. Okay, those things are there. Okay. Is it clear, Prakriti? Nuclear core complex?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so
Thank
we'll
you,
meet.
sir.
Okay, okay. So we'll meet tomorrow and we'll go with, we'll start budding process. Okay. Any doubt, anyone?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.